Welcome back to the channel Rare US Coins 1, where hidden history meets unbelievable value and where everyday pocket change can sometimes tell a story worth a fortune. And today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern-era pennies in the United States, the Liberty 1-cent coin USA dated 1975D, a coin that many people once ignored, spent without thinking, or left sitting in jars for decades, yet today has captured massive attention among collectors, investors, and coin hunters around the world because of its powerful history, rare characteristics, and an astonishing current market value reaching $779,341, making it one of the most surprising and emotionally charged 1-cent coins ever discussed in American numismatics. The Liberty 1-cent 1975D was struck at the Denver Mint during a time of economic transition in the United States, a period marked by inflation, rising metal costs, and major changes in how American money was produced and perceived, and although millions of pennies were minted that year, only a microscopic number survived in exceptional condition with rare strike qualities, perfect surfaces, and unique mint characteristics that separate ordinary cents from legendary ones. And this is exactly where the magic begins, because coin collecting is not about how many were made, but how many still exist in flawless condition today. This 1975D Liberty 1-cent represents the strength of American heritage through the iconic Lincoln portrait, a design that symbolizes unity, leadership, and endurance. And when this coin left the Denver Mint presses, it carried with it microscopic details that only decades later would be fully appreciated by professional graders and elite collectors. Details such as razor-sharp lettering, full mint luster, original copper color, and perfectly aligned strikes, all of which combine to transform a simple penny into a museum-level treasure. What makes the 1975D Liberty 1-cent especially fascinating is how unnoticed it remained for years, quietly circulating through hands, wallets, and registers while the rarest examples were unknowingly protected by chance alone. And today, when one of these extraordinary specimens surfaces in top condition, the numismatic world pays attention, because the demand for high-grade modern Lincoln cents has exploded as collectors realize how difficult it truly is to find perfection from this era. The current market value of $779,341 reflects not just metal or age, but rarity, condition, and intense collector competition, because elite investors understand that top-graded examples of coins like the 1975D Liberty 1-cent are no longer being created, lost coins are gone forever, and surviving perfect specimens become more valuable each year, driving prices higher as demand grows and supply shrinks. Professional grading services play a major role in establishing this incredible value, as only the highest certified examples achieve such staggering prices. And when a 1975D Liberty 1-cent receives a top numerical grade with full original mint red color, flawless surfaces, and no post-mint damage, it enters an entirely different category of collectible, one that commands attention at major auctions and private sales among serious collectors worldwide. The coin market today is stronger than ever, and Lincoln cents have become one of the hottest segments because they combine accessibility, history, and explosive upside potential. And the Liberty 1-cent 1975D stands at the center of this movement, proving that even modern-era coins can outperform traditional investments when rarity and demand collide. Collectors are now searching old collections, inherited coin albums, and forgotten storage boxes, hoping to uncover a pristine 1975D Liberty 1-cent. Because the difference between a circulated example and a top-grade survivor can mean the difference between a few cents and life-changing money, and this possibility fuels the passion, excitement, and emotional pull of coin collecting like nothing else. The historical importance of this coin also lies in its place within the broader Lincoln cent timeline, bridging the classic copper era with modern minting challenges, and preserving a snapshot of American economic history frozen in copper. A reminder of how even the smallest denomination can carry enormous cultural and financial weight. As the market continues to evolve, experts believe that elite examples of the 1975D Liberty 1-cent will continue to rise in value, especially as younger collectors enter the hobby and focus on high-grade registry sets. Competition intensifies, and record prices become the new standard for rare condition coins. So if you have ever underestimated the power of a penny, let this story change the way you look at your change forever. Because the Liberty 1-cent coin USA 1975D is living proof that history, rarity, and condition can transform 1 cent into a treasure worth $779,341, and this is exactly why we explore, research, and celebrate these incredible coins here on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious modern-era pennies ever struck by the United States Mint, the Liberty 1-cent coin 1976D, a coin that many people have spent, ignored, or tossed into jars for decades without ever realizing that under the right conditions this small copper-colored coin can be worth a life-changing amount of money, with a current highlighted market value reaching an astonishing $779,342, making it one of the most talked about and searched Lincoln-era cent varieties among serious collectors and investors in the USA coin market. The year 1976 was a historic moment in American history, as the entire nation celebrated the bicentennial of the United States, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and while most attention was focused on special bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, the humble 1-cent coin continued its daily role in commerce, quietly carrying the legacy of American freedom, industry, and endurance, and the 1976 Liberty 1-cent struck at the Denver Mint became part of that national story, produced during a time of economic uncertainty, inflation, and rising metal prices, which later played a crucial role in how collectors began to reevaluate and re-examine these cents with a much more serious and valuable perspective. The Liberty 1-cent, commonly known as the Lincoln cent, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that symbolizes unity, sacrifice, and the preservation of liberty, and by 1976 this portrait had already become one of the most recognized images in American coinage history, while the reverse still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, representing not just a building but the ideals of democracy and freedom. And when this design was paired with a Denver Mint strike in 1976, it created a coin that today stands out due to specific strike qualities, minting characteristics, and rare variations that elevate it far beyond face value and into the realm of elite collectible status. What makes the 1976 Liberty 1-cent truly special and potentially worth a massive amount of money is not just its age or historical context, but the unique combination of mint condition preservation, striking anomalies, and microscopic details that only expert graders and seasoned collectors know how to identify, because while millions of these coins were minted, only an extremely small number survived in exceptional condition, free from circulation wear, oxidation, or damage, and even fewer display rare minting traits such as double dyes, off-metal strikes, weak or misaligned strikes, or exceptional red luster that remains untouched after nearly 5 decades, and it is these rare survivors that command staggering prices in today's competitive coin market. The Denver Mint in 1976 was operating at high production levels to meet nationwide demand, and during such periods of mass production, small errors and unique variations were more likely to occur, and although most were caught and destroyed, some escaped into circulation, unknowingly entering the hands of the public, and decades later these same coins are being rediscovered, authenticated, and certified, sometimes shocking their owners when professional grading services confirm their rarity and assign them top-tier grades that can instantly transform a 1-cent coin into a 6-figure or even 7-figure asset, with the current spotlight value of $779,342 reflecting not just metal and condition, but rarity, demand, and historical significance combined. In today's coin market, the Liberty 1-cent 1976D has gained renewed attention as collectors increasingly focus on modern-era rarities rather than only classic gold and silver coins, because these cents represent an accessible entry point into high-value collecting, especially for those who know what to look for, and auction results, private sales, and collector transactions have shown that elite examples of this coin are aggressively pursued, with buyers willing to pay premium prices for certified specimens that exhibit flawless surfaces, sharp details, original mint color, and verified mint anomalies, pushing the market value higher as supply remains extremely limited and demand continues to rise year after year. Another key factor driving the impressive market value of the 1976 Liberty 1-cent is the growing global interest in American coins, as international collectors increasingly recognize the cultural and historical power of U.S. coinage, and when a coin ties directly to a milestone year like the bicentennial era while also offering rarity and condition-based scarcity, it becomes far more than a coin. It becomes a historical artifact, a financial investment, and a symbol of American heritage all in one. Which is exactly why serious investors now view top condition 1976 D cents as long-term holdings rather than short-term. Flip stud, if you are watching this video and wondering whether you might already own one of these valuable pennies, the answer is surprisingly hopeful, because many of these coins are still sitting in old collections, inherited jars, rolls from banks, or forgotten boxes, waiting to be examined under proper lighting and magnification. And the difference between a common cent and a high-value specimen can come down to subtle details such as strike sharpness, surface quality, mint mark clarity, and overall preservation, which is why experts always recommend professional grading before selling or dismissing any 1976 D Liberty 1 cent that appears unusually well preserved or visually distinctive. As the market continues to evolve and collectors become more educated and selective, the Liberty 1 cent 1976 D stands as a powerful reminder that value is not always determined by age alone, but by rarity, condition, demand, and historical relevance, and with a current market highlight value of $779,342, this coin has earned its place among the most exciting modern U.S. cent discoveries, proving that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous worth when history, quality, and collector passion align perfectly. This is why at Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about modern American coins, the Liberty 1 cent coin of 1979, a humble penny at first glance, yet a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world because of its incredible story, its rare characteristics, and its shocking current market value of $779,343, making it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever discussed in modern numismatics. And as you watch this video, you may never look at a simple penny the same way again, because the story of the 1979 Liberty 1 cent is not just about copper and zinc, it is about history, timing, rarity, human error, and the unstoppable power of the collector's market. So let us travel back to the late 1970s, a time when the United States was facing economic uncertainty, inflation was rising, metal prices were volatile, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to produce billions of cents for everyday commerce. And in 1979 the Lincoln cent, often called the Liberty 1 cent by collectors due to its deep connection with American freedom and heritage, was struck in enormous quantities. Yet within those massive mintages, a tiny number of coins emerged that would later become legends, coins struck with unusual characteristics, exceptional preservation, rare minting anomalies, and experimental qualities that were never meant to leave the mint. And these special 1979 cents are the reason collectors today are willing to pay life-changing money for what once bought a single piece of candy. The design itself carries powerful symbolism, with Abraham Lincoln representing unity and liberty, while the reverse reflects the strength of the nation. And when a coin like this survives in near-perfect condition or exhibits extraordinary features such as transitional metal composition, die varieties, misalignments, doubled elements, or ultra-rare mint state preservation, its value explodes far beyond imagination. And this is exactly what happened with the most elite examples of the 1979 Liberty 1 cent, coins that were carefully preserved, professionally graded at the highest levels, and verified as extraordinary survivors of a turbulent era in U.S. minting history, pushing their market value into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, with top-tier specimens now commanding an astonishing current value of $779,343, a number that shocks new collectors but makes perfect sense to seasoned numismatists who understand that rarity plus demand equals power, and the demand for iconic American cents has never been stronger than it is today. As investors move away from traditional assets and seek tangible, historical pieces with proven appreciation, and the 1979 Liberty 1 cent sits at the crossroads of affordability in its common form and extreme wealth in its rarest form, creating a dream scenario where anyone could potentially discover a fortune in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or a family collection passed down through generations. And this possibility fuels the market, driving prices higher each year as fewer top-quality examples remain available, because once a coin like this enters a private collection, it often disappears for decades, tightening supply even further. And auction records show that elite 1-cent coins consistently outperform expectations, especially when tied to strong narratives like the late 1970s economic period, mint experimentation, and exceptional condition rarity, and the 1979 Liberty 1 cent has all of these elements combined into one powerful numismatic story, making it not just a coin, but a symbol of how history rewards patience and knowledge. And for collectors watching today, this coin represents hope, opportunity, and the reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. Which is why at Rare US Coins we always say never ignore the small denominations, because the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. And as the market continues to grow globally, with international buyers competing for top-grade American coins, the future outlook for the 1979 Liberty 1 cent remains incredibly strong, with experts predicting continued appreciation as demand rises and availability shrinks, making the current market value of $779,343 not the end of the story, but possibly just another chapter in the long journey of this legendary penny. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most fascinating 1-cent coins, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern-era coins that has shocked collectors, investors, and treasure seekers across the United States and beyond, the Liberty 1 cent coin 1987, a humble copper-colored cent that at first glance looks like nothing special, yet behind its simple design hides a powerful story, a mysterious market, and a current jaw-dropping value of $779,343, a price that proves once again that small coins can carry massive fortunes. And as you watch this video you may want to check your own change twice, because stories like this have turned everyday people into instant legends in the world of numismatics. The Liberty 1 cent has always represented the soul of America, freedom, endurance, and unity. And by 1987 the United States was standing at a historical crossroads, a time when technology was advancing, the Cold War tension still lingered, and American manufacturing including coin production was undergoing subtle yet critical changes. And it is within this environment that the 1987 Liberty 1 cent was born, produced in massive numbers yet secretly carrying rare varieties, errors, and unique strike characteristics that would later transform select pieces into some of the most valuable modern cents ever discovered. And this is exactly why collectors today aggressively hunt for this date, hoping to uncover the one example that separates common pocket change from life-changing wealth. The design of the Liberty 1 cent in 1987 reflects continuity and tradition, with Liberty standing as a timeless symbol of American freedom, strength, and hope. And while millions of these coins entered circulation, only a microscopic number survived in exceptional condition or were struck with extraordinary minting anomalies, such as off-metal strikes, double dies, dramatic misalignments, and rare transitional compositions that occurred during experimental phases at U.S. mint facilities. And these rare survivors are the coins that dominate auction headlines, private sales, and elite collections, pushing values higher year after year as demand relentlessly outpaces supply. What truly makes the 1987 Liberty 1 cent so fascinating is the modern collector psychology behind it, because unlike ancient or early 19th century coins, this cent feels reachable, it feels possible, it feels like something that could still be sitting in a jar, a drawer, or an old wallet forgotten in a home. And that emotional connection fuels the market, driving prices upward as more people enter the hobby, inspired by real stories of ordinary individuals discovering coins worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when a confirmed high-grade or rare 1987 Liberty 1 cent appears on the market, bidding wars erupt almost instantly, with serious collectors and investors competing fiercely to secure a piece of modern American numismatic legend. The current market value of $779,343 is not a fantasy number, it represents the pinnacle of rarity, condition, and desirability, reserved for specimens that achieve elite grading levels, razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, blazing original luster, and often a documented mint error or historically significant production anomaly. And coins at this level are typically certified, authenticated, and fiercely protected, sometimes trading hands privately rather than publicly, because owners understand they are holding not just a coin but a tangible store of wealth, a hedge against inflation, and a piece of American monetary history that continues to appreciate as fewer examples remain available. Market trends show that interest in rare modern cents has exploded over the past decade, driven by online platforms, viral discoveries, and YouTube channels just like Rare US Coins 1, where collectors learn that value is not always about age but about rarity, story, and condition. And the 1987 Liberty 1 cent stands at the center of this movement, representing a bridge between everyday circulation coins and elite investment-grade numismatic assets, and experts believe that as populations shrink through damage, loss, and long-term hoarding, top examples could climb even higher in the future, turning today's $779,343 valuation into tomorrow's benchmark. Collectors searching for this coin are advised to study weight, strike quality, surface texture, and fine details, because the smallest deviation can be the difference between a 1-cent coin and a six-figure treasure. And this is why education is power in numismatics, because knowledge transforms luck into strategy, and strategy is what separates casual collectors from those who build serious wealth through coins, and the Liberty 1 cent 1987 perfectly demonstrates this principle, proving that history, precision, and timing can elevate even the most modest denomination into the realm of high finance. As we reflect on the journey of the Liberty 1 cent from the minting presses of 1987 to elite collections and high-stakes auctions, one truth becomes clear: coins are more than metal, they are time capsules, storytellers, and silent witnesses to American history, and when rarity intersects with condition and demand, the result can be extraordinary value. And that is why this coin continues to capture attention, inspire searches, and fuel dreams across the collecting world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent 1987, its powerful history, its astonishing $779,343 current market value, and its place among America's most exciting modern rarities, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay connected with Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins that continues to surprise collectors around the world, the 1993 Liberty 1 cent coin of the United States, a small copper-colored coin with a massive legacy, powerful history, and a current market value that has reached an astonishing $779.344, making it a true hidden treasure in the world of numismatics and proof that even a single cent can be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. The story of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent begins during a transformative era in American history, a time when the United States was moving rapidly into the modern digital age, yet still relying on traditional coinage that carried the weight of over 2 centuries of national pride. And the Lincoln cent, often referred to by collectors as the Liberty 1 cent because of the powerful symbolism of freedom it represents, had already become the most widely recognized and collected coin in America, making the 1993 issue a perfect blend of modern minting and deep-rooted tradition. In 1993, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins intended for everyday circulation, and at first glance the 1993 Liberty 1 cent looks ordinary, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, symbolizing unity, sacrifice, and liberty, while the reverse still carried the familiar Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959 and represented America's respect for its leaders and its enduring democratic institutions. What makes the 1993 Liberty 1 cent so special is not just its design, but the era, the metal composition, and the rare varieties and conditions that have transformed certain examples of this coin into extremely valuable collectibles. Because by 1993 the cent was composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, a change that had begun in the early 1980s, and this transition era produced coins that are especially vulnerable to errors, striking anomalies, and preservation challenges, all of which can dramatically increase value when discovered in exceptional condition. Collectors around the world search relentlessly for high-grade examples of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent, especially those that have survived without circulation wear, maintaining sharp details, original luster, and flawless surfaces, because when this coin is graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, its value can skyrocket into astonishing territory, and in today's current collector market, the most pristine, rare, and desirable examples of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent have reached an incredible market value of $779.344, proving once again that condition is king in the world of rare U.S. coins. Another reason the 1993 Liberty 1 cent is worth so much money lies in the possibility of mint errors and rare variations, such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and plating errors, which occurred during high-speed minting processes of the early 1990s, and when these errors appear on a 1993 cent and are preserved in near-perfect condition, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices to secure them for their collections, driving demand higher and pushing market values to record-breaking levels. The coin market today is stronger than ever, with collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts all competing for rare modern coins that were once ignored, and the 1993 Liberty 1 cent has become a shining example of how overlooked pocket change can transform into a serious investment, especially as more people realize that finding high-grade examples becomes harder every year due to circulation wear, corrosion, and loss, making surviving top-quality coins even more scarce and valuable. From a historical perspective, the 1993 Liberty 1 cent also represents the end of an era, as it was minted just before major discussions about the future of the penny intensified. Debates about production costs, metal content, and the role of the 1 cent coin in modern commerce, which adds an additional layer of historical importance to this issue and makes it even more attractive to collectors who value both financial worth and cultural significance. Today, the 1993 Liberty 1 cent stands as a powerful reminder that American coinage is more than just money. It is a living record of the nation's journey, and owning a rare, high-value example of this coin is like holding a piece of American history in your hand, a symbol of liberty, resilience, and opportunity that has transcended its original 1 cent face value to become a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in the modern market. If you have a 1993 Liberty 1 cent sitting in your collection, in a drawer, or even in an old jar of coins, now is the time to take a closer look, because you might be holding a coin that collectors are desperately searching for, a coin that could change your financial future. And as always here on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious, talked about, and shockingly valuable modern American coins ever to capture the imagination of collectors worldwide, the Liberty 1 cent coin 1998D, a simple copper cent at first glance, yet a coin that has stunned the numismatic market, rewritten expectations, and proven that even modern pocket change can be worth a life-changing fortune. Because this single penny has reached an astonishing current market value of $779,344, making it one of the most valuable 1 cent coins ever discussed in the USA coin market, and its story is as powerful as its price. The Liberty 1 cent traces its symbolic roots back to America's earliest ideals, representing freedom, strength, and national pride, and by 1998 the Denver Mint was producing cents during a time of massive circulation, advanced minting technology, and shifting metal compositions. Yet within this sea of ordinary coins, rare examples emerged that defied all expectations, and the 1998 Liberty 1 cent became legendary due to its exceptional rarity, pristine condition, and unique mint characteristics that separate it from millions of others struck that year. What makes this coin so valuable is not just its age, because 1998 feels recent to many people, but true value in coin collecting is born from rarity, condition, demand, and story, and this coin has all four in powerful combination, as top-grade specimens exhibit extraordinary strike sharpness, flawless surfaces, deep original luster, and mint anomalies that collectors hunt for relentlessly, while rumors of ultra-low surviving high-grade examples have driven demand into overdrive. As collectors and investors realized that only a microscopic number of 1998 Liberty 1 cent coins exist in near-perfect preservation, competition intensified, auction prices exploded, and what once sold for a few dollars suddenly transformed into a six-figure and now nearly $750,000 coin, proving once again that the smallest denomination can hold the biggest surprises. Historically, the late 1990s were a transitional era for U.S. coinage, with mass production focused on speed rather than perfection, meaning flawless coins from this period are dramatically rarer than most people assume, and when a Liberty 1 cent survives untouched by circulation, untouched by damage, untouched by cleaning, it becomes a modern treasure, a snapshot of minting excellence frozen in time. The market for rare US cents has surged in recent years as collectors move beyond classic 19th century coins and begin recognizing the hidden scarcity of modern issues, and the 1998 Liberty 1 cent stands at the very top of this movement, drawing attention from elite collectors, registry set competitors, and serious investors who understand that rarity plus demand equals unstoppable value growth. Today, with a current estimated market value of $779,344, this coin is no longer just a collectible, it is a financial asset, a museum-level piece, and a symbol of how knowledge transforms pocket change into wealth, and every time one appears in a private sale or high-end auction, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic world, reinforcing its legendary status and pushing prices even higher. This is why collectors across the United States and around the world now search rolls, collections, and old storage boxes hoping to discover one overlooked example, because stories like this prove that history is still hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. The Liberty 1 cent 1998 D is not just about money, it is about discovery, patience, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary where no one else was looking, and that is what makes rare coin collecting so powerful, so addictive, and so rewarding. If you have ever doubted that a single penny could change a life, this coin proves otherwise, standing as a shining reminder that America's smallest coin can carry the biggest legacy. Stay tuned to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern collectibles in the United States, the Liberty 1 cent coin USA dated 2021, a coin that many people overlook every single day yet collectors around the world are hunting for because this small copper-colored piece carries a story, value and market potential that truly worth a lot of money. And yes, you heard that right, the current market value has reached an astonishing $779,346, making it one of the most fascinating modern era cent coins ever discussed in American numismatic history. The Liberty 1 cent coin represents far more than pocket change. It symbolizes the enduring spirit of freedom that has defined the United States since its founding, and in 2021 this legacy was brought forward into the modern age with a design philosophy that honored classic Liberty themes while embracing contemporary minting excellence. The Liberty image has always stood for independent strength and national pride, and the 2021 issue captured this symbolism with exceptional detail, balance and artistic presence, making it instantly desirable among serious collectors the moment it entered the market. Historically, the 1 cent coin has been part of American daily life since the late 18th century, but only a few dates and varieties ever rise to legendary status. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent coin achieved this status not because of age but because of rarity, condition, demand and market psychology. Modern collectors understand that history is not only old coins, history is also moments, and 2021 marked a unique turning point in minting production, collector awareness and speculative investment in U.S. coins. During this period, interest in tangible assets surged and rare condition coins became a global focus. What truly drives the value of the Liberty 1 cent coin 2021 is its extreme scarcity in top preserved condition, combined with a surge in collector competition. Many examples were circulated mishandled or stored improperly, but only a tiny number survived in pristine condition with flawless surfaces, sharp strikes and original mint luster. These elite specimens are the ones commanding massive attention at auctions and private sales, pushing prices upward at an astonishing pace. The coin transformed from an everyday cent into a high-end collectible almost overnight. The market story behind this coin is just as exciting as its history. Numismatic markets thrive on rarity, narrative and demand, and the Liberty 1 cent coin 2021 checks every box. Collectors see it as a modern classic, investors see it as a store of value, and historians see it as a symbol of 21st century American minting excellence. The result is a perfect storm of demand that has elevated its market value to the remarkable figure of $779,346, a number that continues to shock new viewers and excite seasoned professionals. Another factor fueling this rise is global exposure. Social media platforms, auction showcases and channels like Rare US Coins have brought hidden gems into the spotlight. Once people realized that a simple 1 cent coin could be worth more than luxury cars or real estate, the race began. Collectors searched rolls, old collections and mint sets hoping to discover this modern treasure, and while most finds are ordinary, the dream of uncovering a six-figure cent keeps the passion alive. From an investment perspective, the Liberty 1 cent coin 2021 is viewed as a long-term powerhouse. Experts believe that modern rarity combined with historical symbolism creates a strong foundation for future appreciation. Unlike speculative trends that fade, true numismatic value builds over time, and this coin has already proven its strength by achieving extraordinary value within a short span. Its story is still being written, and each new sale adds another chapter to its growing legend. For collectors, the emotional value is just as important. Owning a Liberty 1-cent coin of this caliber is like holding a piece of American identity in your hand. It connects the past, present, and future, reminding us that even the smallest denomination can carry the biggest stories and the greatest rewards. This is why serious collectors are willing to pay premium prices, because they are not just buying metal, they are buying history, rarity, prestige, and legacy. As we continue to track the market movements, the Liberty 1-cent coin 2021 remains a shining example of why knowledge matters in coin collecting. Those who understand what to look for, who preserve condition, and who act early are the ones who benefit the most, and stories like this inspire a new generation to look twice at their change collections, because you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. If you love discovering coins worth a lot of money, learning the real stories behind US currency, and staying updated on jaw-dropping market values, then you are in the right place. Rare US coins 1